Ho, ho, ho. Pull up a chair by the hearth.
Hello and welcome to The Hearth, Episode 3. It is the 27th of June. My name is Christopher Puner, and with me this week I have both of my wonderful co-hosts, finally, Mr. Matt Hillman.
Hey.
And Aidan Frost Rockarts.
That's me.
What's up, guys? How are both of you doing? We haven't sat down, the three of us, and done this properly yet, and this is the third episode of the show, so is it a little weird? Maybe?
Well, we did some test stuff, so that's cool. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's
now
kind
you're
of like episode 4, and we've been here for
under
half
the gun. Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
But I know and talk to you guys, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not like you've been gone forever, 2 weeks or whatever. It's just that,
You gotta stop lifting the veil,
record.
Matt. What the hell? I'm just
sorry. My bad. I'm breaking the fourth wall. My fault.
But in all seriousness, though, you've been kind of MIA because you've been dealing with some stuff in real life. So
I have.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us about your past week?
What, I moved? That whole thing?
Oh, I mean, yeah, and then, Warcraft related stuff.
Okay, Warcraft related, yeah. Personal stuff happened. We'll move past that. I also played some World of Warcraft this week. I play World of Warcraft all the time, so that's not new. I did 6.2 hit, so yeah, that's been taking up my life for the past week for sure, since Tuesday. And lots of new cool things in Tanan, new raid, which I've tried out, some other stuff. I've also decided I'm leveling a priest, because I've never actually played a priest before, and they're like a healing class. So I was like, I want to heal on a different class. So now I'm leveling a disc priest. I'm probably going to off-spec holy, because more healing is always better, right? So
Sure.
yeah. And, I don't know, I did some Hearthstone. I played the Tavern Brawl a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool with all the bananas. Shit's bananas, dude.
B-A-N-A-S.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to do that. I'm also doing an arena run, I think. I think I'm in the middle of an arena run where I'm playing Mage. Yeah. But that's about it. I mean, I've been playing a lot more Horde, because it kind of seems like our Alliance Guild fell apart, because nobody plays anymore. Nobody showed up for Raid today, which was sad. So, I don't know. I'm still playing Alliance on occasion, but I'm mostly playing Horde now.
Yeah, a lot of people have just been really busy this past few weeks, and the issue lies in people just not communicating it to you as the raid leader.
Yeah, that's fine. It's mostly like you, me, Magna, Tom, all those people, and I don't know. We don't really have a core raid group yet going anyway, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We're still trying to fill that out and figure that out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, great. Frost.
To start off, I think I would prefer playing World of Warcraft if I played Horde, because I know stuff in Ogrimmar and stuff like that, and when I play Alliance, I'm
Horde.
I hate this, and I don't know what I'm doing. It's just it's amazing that you can play something 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and then you come back and it's hey, I still know all this shit, where everything is, and now it's I'm playing a completely new area. I don't know what I'm doing. I have to look everything up on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like a new game.
What level is your Horde character?
Well, I haven't started a Horde character yet, but I'm going to. Honestly, I'd prefer playing that so much over Alliance.
Okay. I thought you had a character from back in the day.
Oh, I do, yeah. It's level 86. Literally finished one quest in Pandaria, then I'm nah.
Well, shit, dude. I'll level with you. I got an 81 Paladin.
Yeah, that'd be hype. But overall, my week, I didn't play very many, Blizzard Warcraft games. I played one game of Heroes of Storm. I won that. Still have my 100% win rate on that game, despite not knowing how to play it.
What are you, 3 for 3 now?
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
He would have been
though.
2 for 3, but we didn't get to play our game today. I'm assuming we would have lost.
I would have
given him the benefit of the doubt that he was going to lose.
That's still a really good win rate, dude.
I'm just not going to lose any games. I'm telling you, I'm
okay.
going to go straight to professional. What's their professional scene called? BCS.
They don't
Blizzard
have one.
Challenger scene. Okay?
Oh, is that a real thing?
I'll be there, okay? But yeah, so I'm getting good at that game, kind of. But Hearthstone-wise, my actual game that I play, I played one arena. I haven't played an arena in a month, because I just decided I'm going to save up gold, and then I'm going to become a professional Hearthstone streamer. And if you notice, you watch anyone stream, they have 1 million gold, and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
So I'm currently at 1,400 gold, I think. And then I played an arena and I went like 4-3 because I'm bad, but I got a legendary from the pack, so that was
Worth.
cool.
Which one?
I got goddamn, what's the hunter legendary? The bad one.
King Crush?
No, that's the good one.
Gromzilla or whatever it's called?
Gazrilla, sorry.
Gazrilla, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so I'm happy about that because I already had a golden Gazrilla, so I disenchanted that and got 1,600 dust. Currently at 5k dust, so that's awesome.
Dude, nice.
Rank 6 in Hearthstone now, so not bad. I'm probably going to end rank 3 this month. I still have like 3 more days. I'll aim for rank 3 or maybe 2. Not going to hit legend because I don't want to grind so many games after rank 5. Other than that, though, it's been pretty slow. I worked like I think I worked Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I've had this whole weekend off, so I mean, I didn't get to play much stuff this early week.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Okay, well, I played everything this week. I played absolutely everything. I played a lot of Heroes of the Storm. I played a good amount of World of Warcraft, and I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone, just trying to like actually give ranked a legitimate shot. And this is the highest season I've ever placed, and I'm 14 right now, which I'm in a weird way I'm kind of proud of. I mean,
dude, respectable.
14's okay, right?
That's still like top 25.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and I've been using the same shitty Mech Hunter deck that only has half the cards that I need in it.
It's not shitty if it's working.
You know what? You're right. You sir are right. I generally find myself outpacing other hunters, which is weird.
That's pretty fun.
It's because Mech Warper puts you ahead of the curve by like
Mech Warper's retarded.
Fucking ridiculous amount of. Yeah, dude. 0 mana Clockwork Gnomes. Okay, man. It's really dumb. So been doing that. Been playing that deck. Did some of the Tavern Brawl with Frosticles over here, and we did the pre-brawl. We'll take a moment to talk about that real quick now that we're at the end of this brawl. Other than just our first day impressions, but we'll do that in just a little bit. I've been playing some World of Warcraft 6.2, like Matt said, did drop. And Tanan is cool.
I think Timeless Isle.
It is, yeah. I was going around and I'm like, some of these quests seem familiar. And I'm like, what does this remind me of? And I'm going around and I'm opening up chests and it's giving me free loot that was really hard to get in the previous patch. I'm like, man, this smells familiar. What does this remind me of? And then I'm like going around and there's like, some like world bosses that are dropping really high end loot and you can only do it like once a week. I'm like, man, this is so familiar. What does this remind me of? And I'm like, oh fuck, it's Timeless Isles, but with more orcs. Shit.
It is a carbon copy of Timeless Isle.
But in that respect, that's not a bad thing. It's not. If people remember when Timeless Isles came out, everybody loved it. Everybody loved it all the way to the end of that expansion. It was a cool thing, a very cool thing. And I think it's doing the same sort of thing with this one. But it also came with the garrison, lateral expansion of the shipyard, and I believe we'll talk about that in a little bit, right? That patch.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
All right, cool. And then in Heroes of the Storm, been playing around with different champions because I'm different heroes. I've been playing some Kael'thas games like I always do, but I don't know. I'm trying to play some like Nova and some Sylvanas as well because I'm really just trying to get to level 30 so I can start playing ranked. I'm at like 25 right now, getting close, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I was playing Jono a lot when I was playing, and it was I don't know. I felt like it was weird when I didn't get Jaina. I just was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to just buy her, but it costs so much gold.
I've also been looking up, the really fast way to get gold in that game is to just level up every single hero that you don't have at level 5 to level 5. And you get a free 500 gold for just doing that. It takes like 2 games.
That's nice.
If you win. It's not bad. Especially with this past weekend that they had the XP bonus or whatever it was. Like people were just hopping in groups and getting like 300,000 or to like 500,000 experience in one game if you win and it's long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I hit level 4 with Nefarian off one game.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, but in a good way. Yeah. Other than that, playing a little bit of StarCraft 2 with Mr. Alex Whitehair from Casual Cast. And yeah, doing that stuff. And Coolness all
Nice.
around. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about. Let's come back around. Let's turn around real quick and take a glance back at what we had just talked about a little bit and focus in on kind of like the biggest piece of news and content, I suppose, that's going to be in this episode, which is kind of breaking down and talking about our experiences thus far in 6.2. Matt Hillman. Sorry, Aidan.
Yeah, let's talk about 6.2. All right, well, Tanan Jungle is open. That also includes Hellfire Citadel, multiple new reputations, new mounts, the ability to earn flying in Draenor. Even though it hasn't been released yet, you can still get the achievement. As well as the shipyard in your garrison. So, plenty of new stuff. There's a bunch of other things too. Time-walking dungeons, mythic dungeons, just a ton of things that they added with this. With that, there's also new garrison caches for your shipyard. Like, it's just crazy. If you haven't played a lot of Endgame and you want to get geared, you're welcome, basically. If you remember, we're gonna make a lot of comparisons to Timeless Isle because in Pandaria, if you didn't have a lot of gear, you go to Timeless Isle. You die to a bunch of things.
Get a lot of gear.
Yeah, you die to all the stuff on the island because it's really, really difficult, even for level 100. Well, I guess 90 at the time. But that's basically how Tanan is as well. You can get gear from so many different things. All you got to do is tag a rare spawn, so you hit it one time, and you can loot it. And rare spawns will drop 650 gear. They will sometimes upgrade to 675 gear, which is ridiculous. You can also do dailies for Apexis crystals, and you can purchase items with Apexis crystals that are 650, and then you can upgrade those for another 20,000 Apexis.
Yeah.
So,
and you can earn up to, I think it was easily, probably within 1 or 2 hours, like 10k of Apexis crystals. Not even a problem. And that's just Tanan. Like, you can still go on and do your regular Apexis stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just Tanan.
Yep, but there's a daily that gives you 2k Apexis crystals. So that's just one of the dailies. Well, and there are other ones that give 1,000 or 1,500 as well. So
in specifically that one, the one that gives you the 2k, is a quest that makes you collect 10 of these blight crystals that you find while getting other great things, like killing rare spawns and getting like treasure chests.
Yep.
So it's not like you're really going out of your way to get them. You'd be going and getting these things anyway. And along the way, in addition to these 2k Apexis crystals you're getting, the quest is basically go around and treat yourself because you deserve it and you're pretty.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say that I had a belt that was blue. It was a 630 from a heroic dungeon, and I wanted to replace it, so I spent the 5k Apexis crystals, which I got in the first day of Tanan Jungle. And I got myself the belt, and then I went around with Tom and killed some stuff, and one of the rare spawns dropped the belt, and it got upgraded to 675. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. Go around, have fun. There are groups all the time. There's people talking in trade chat. Just go do the Tanan Jungle thing, and once you have it unlocked, I mean, you could spend days there just farming whatever you want to do. There's also a mount that was released for 150,000 Apexis crystals. It's a ridiculous amount. You used to not even be able to hold that many, but you can get that. Like I said, 150,000 Apexis. I think you have to be revered or something with the reputation as well.
What's the mount?
It's the... I don't remember which one that is.
Is it the elephant?
No, it's a flying one, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'll look it up. But basically, bunch of different things that you can do as far as Tanan goes. But I also want to talk about Hellfire Citadel, which was released. Is 14 boss raid, which is pretty typical for an endgame raid. This one, the end bosses are God damn it. I should probably have this information pulled up.
Ooh, okay, well, actually, really quick, spoilers, we're going to talk about, like, naming the end bosses and stuff.
Yeah. Basically just going to go through and list off all these bosses, because why not? The final boss is Archimond, which I could have probably known, but I wasn't listening or paying attention to myself.
Do you know who he is?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, he's
Hellfire
one of-
Assault.
He's
Okay,
one
go
of like the main Eridar lords that lead the Burning Legion.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. That's what I said.
Yeah, he's actually technically on the same level as the Prophet Velen, except that the Prophet Velen did not choose to be corrupted when the Draenei left their homeworld, and those other guys did. Archimonde was one of them. That's why he looks like a gigantic red Draenei, because he is a gigantic red Draenei. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's cool.
But you'll also be facing Manareth in this, as well as Kilrog Deadeye, somebody who was showing up a while back when you were going through the initial stuff in Draenor.
Yeah, when you jump in the portal and then you do like the world tour of Tanan Jungle and like Khadgar's like, let's get out of here.
Yeah, basically that whole thing at the beginning, which was like super hype.
Oh, it was hype as fuck, man.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's like I said, 14 bosses in this one. I'm counting now, and there's only 13. Am I wrong? Are there only 13?
I believe, yes, there's only 13. I think it's six per wing, and then the last one is the last... I'm sorry, no, there's 5 parts.
No, are there 5 parts? I thought there was only 4.
I think there's 5.
Okay.
Shit,
oh
let me
yeah,
look it
4
up.
and then Archimonde, probably.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, the first wing is all that I've done. I've also attempted Kilrog a few times.
On normal?
On heroic.
Which is the normal, right?
Well, okay. The way that they changed it is that normal is the old flex, heroic is the old normal, and mythic is the old heroic. So, if you're talking about, like, end game, I want to do the very hardest raid in the game, that's mythic. So I was doing it on heroic, but it was a pug group, and we were just kind of failing, so it was kind of whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I did down Hellfire Assault and Iron Reaver, the first 2 bosses. The mechanics are actually pretty fun. I still need to explore it more, because I haven't really looked into the rest of the raid. I've only really done the beginning, but...
Well, Matt, it's only been out for, like, less than a week, so... I'm surprised you haven't downed the whole thing on Mythic yet.
You know, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? If I do that, I'll just be bored. So I'm slowing it down. You know,
not that you couldn't have. You could have.
Please.
Yeah,
I could
solo.
do it right now if I wanted. But you know, it's more like, I want to fully experience the game. So, the new Hellfire Citadel, really cool. It drops crazy gear. If you do it on normal, which is basically the old flex, and really, really, I mean, if you have the gear, you can do it. The mechanics aren't really that hard. It drops 690 gear up through 705 gear, and that's depending on which boss you're facing. So the later you go into the dungeon, the higher the item level of the gear, which I think is interesting. I don't know if they've ever done that before, but it's very interesting. So I actually got some 690 gear from the first couple bosses, which was cool. And, I really like it. But the main addition in 6.2, which everyone is so happy about, is the shipyard.
Yep.
If you wanted more things to check at your garrison, the shipyard is for you. What's a shipyard, you ask? Oh, well, it's basically the exact same thing as your follower missions, your garrison table thing in your garrison, except you have to walk to it, so it's a little bit more inconvenient, which is just perfect because, you know, I didn't want to already check things for 20 minutes. Now I have to check things for 30 minutes, which is great. No, it's not. Anyway, basically the shipyard it's kind of cool. All right, don't get me wrong. It's
I was about to say, like, this is turning into something like, you hate on the shipyard? I mean, it's kind of cool. You know what I really the one thing that really pissed me off about it. I'm sorry. We'll come back to you listening and you know, like, talking about what it actually is. But hold up one second.
All right.
The first few things that they have you do are like, all right, now build the ship, now talk to the same guy that you're standing right next to. Why in the fuck does it take a whole minute for them to make these tutorial ships? I don't want to stand there for 59 seconds going, yup, that's a see-through ship that I can't click on yet to send it out to sea. This is bullshit. Come on, you know I'm standing right there. You designed me to stand right there. You're telling me to stand right there, and you're making me stare at the ocean for a whole minute.
All right, so this is exactly what I said. When I was sitting there and I'm like, all right, I don't understand why I have to wait a minute. You know, you could do like 10 seconds. 10 seconds would be fine. I wouldn't be upset about that.
Yeah, and I get it, you know?
But a minute is like just long enough. Like, obviously, they're not building a ship in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, come on, please. But if you're trying to make it less realistic because it's, you know, tutorial, make it 10 seconds. Like, a minute is not long enough for me to go do anything.
Right.
Particularly because my shipyard is about 45 seconds away from my garrison. So I can't even go check other missions and shit.
Right.
It's like,
A
what
minute
am I
or-
supposed to do?
Let me put it this way for those of you that don't quite understand what we're talking about. A minute isn't even long enough for me to decide that maybe I should try, you know, casting out a couple of lines to fish while I'm waiting. I didn't even get there emotionally during this time. I was just so frustrated, you know? God
Speaking
damn
of
it.
fishing, they moved all the fishing things over to your docks as well, which doesn't matter because nobody cares about fishing. Anyway, as I was saying, the shipyard is basically a garrison mission place. You can craft shits. Shits.
You can.
Okay. You can craft ships using the work order system that they've implemented for the garrison.
And you're shit right.
Yeah. And then basically, level 1 shipyard, you can have up to 5 ships, and you basically send those on missions, and it takes anywhere from an hour to 2 days. I've seen some longer than 2 days. It's pretty crazy. But the shipyard, again, like the real garrison, is a vital part of this expansion. You can get Arbigator stones from your shipyard.
10. 10 of them.
10, or I've seen another one with 8 Arbigator stones on a mission. Huge, like super easy to get Arbigator stones now. They also increased the drop rate on all of the bosses in Heimall, so you can get those Arbigator stones as well, which I'm still doing because I'm lazy. But also, there's caches. You know, there used to be caches for your garrison. You could get armor from Heimall, Heimall level gear from garrison missions. Well, they also implemented that in your shipyard to get Hellfire Citadel gear, which means if you're level 2 shipyard, you can get caches, and it's like, 675 gear, I think. And then you, depending on, we're not exactly sure how it works, but I think it's Mythic Dungeons. If you've done a Mythic Dungeon prior to upgrading your shipyard to level 2, then you also get another cache for that, which is a normal Hellfire Citadel, which is anywhere from 690 to 705.
Or, if you don't want to spend your time with the shipyard, you could literally just go walk around Tanan until you trip over 675 gear.
Truth. That is possible. But basically the shipyard is, I don't know, I don't want to say that it's bad, but it's okay, I guess. It's just another thing for me to check World of Warcraft for, and it kind of sucks, but it's fine. You can also get all the same stuff you can from garrison missions. You can get gold, you can get resources, and it actually uses something called oil now. It's oil, right?
It is oil, yep.
Yeah, you use oil to power your ships instead of garrison resources, which is kind of cool, but I don't know. It's just another resource to keep track of. But you also need garrison resources to create a ship, so I'm kind of like, why would I? Okay, anyway. But yeah, then,
it makes sense, Matt. It makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have any garrison resources because I'm lazy. But anyway, the other thing that is new here is the time walking dungeons and mythic dungeons. Mythic dungeons actually drop 685 gear, which is kind of cool. But they're difficult. I've been told by multiple people who've tried it, because I was like, I'm not going to try mythic dungeons. I want to raid. Mythic dungeons are actually pretty difficult, and you can queue up for them the same way you would queue up for raids. You have to go into the extra bonus, whatever it's called, and then queue up for mythic dungeons. You cannot use the dungeon finder, so you have to get a group together and walk into the dungeon. But it actually drops 685 gear, and mythic dungeons are actually pretty cool. If you're into that sort of thing, you can still do the in quests. If you have quests for your inn, you can do those in Mythic Dungeons as well. So yeah, that's all pretty cool.
Did they change any of the encounters or anything, or is it all just scaled up?
I think it's all just scaled up, is what I've been told. I don't know if there's any new mechanics. I haven't double-checked on that, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. I think it's just all a little bit more difficult. It's basically like going from normal dungeons while you're leveling into heroic dungeons when you're level capped. So,
I mean, I suppose, because I just want to go into Skyreach again, you know?
Yeah, that's all I've ever wanted. I just want to go back into Skyreach.
Oh, but you know what I want to do more than going back into Skyreach?
I don't know, time walking dungeons?
Mana tombs, fuck me. God damn it. Oh, God. Oh, my. I was like, time walking, that sounds like fun, and I went in there, and I got, they scale you down. They don't scale the instance up, they scale you down.
Correct.
And so you feel like a baby.
You feel like you're back in Burning Crusade.
That's true, and in that respect, they did a good job. But I really, I didn't really want to go back into Mana Tombs again. Not really. Yeah. Come on.
I know. It's, yeah. But time walking dungeons, that's also a thing. Time walking dungeons, you basically go into a Burning Crusade classic raid on heroic difficulty, and you can actually queue for these. So if you go into the dungeon finder, one of the options is time walking dungeon. Well, you can actually get current gear from these time walking dungeons, and there's also a quest in your garrison. If you do 5 time walking dungeons, you get a reroll for Hellfire Citadel. So there are benefits to doing the time walking dungeons besides just I want to experience this again. But I have only done one, and it was the crappy one that I don't remember, where you basically sit in like this grasslands area and you have to fight endless waves of things that come from portals. I don't remember what it's called. Do you remember what that one's called?
Do you know any more context?
I mean, the guys that pop out are like the Rift Guardians or whatever. There's a bunch of people listening who are like, "Oh my god, I know what dungeon that is."
The space mummies?
No, it's a dungeon in Burning Crusade where you...
You know what, keep going. I'm going to look this up, because now this is going to bother me.
Okay. Well, there's like 18 portals, and you have to kill the bosses. Anyway, we did it. I didn't get any gear. I didn't really get anything from it, and it was kind of like whatever. It's fun, I guess, but whatever.
Was it Shadow Labs?
No. It was like Monaroth or something, but not that.
Opening the Dark Portal.
Yeah, Opening of the Dark Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that one called?
Opening the Dark Portal. That's the name of the...
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the area that you're in? I don't know.
Caverns of Time.
No. The place... I don't know.
Whatever. Oh, you're technically back in Azeroth at that point in time. You're on the other side of the Dark Portal when the Dark Portal first opened. Like when Medivh's opening
Black Morass. That's what it's called.
Oh, how could I forget Black Morass?
Yeah, worst dungeon ever. Well, I didn't like it, but Tom was tanking and I was healing, so we went through in like 4 seconds.
Right.
Basically, they scale down all your gear, but if you have like end game raid content gear, then it's really fucking easy. So, go have fun in Tanan and then do some time walking. Yeah.
Don't forget about your shipyard.
Yeah, and shovel some shityard. Why not?
Do it.
Yeah, but overall, that's pretty much it for 6.2. Bunch of new content. I do want to make a correction. When I was talking in the last episode, I said that this was going to be the last raid of the expansion. Technically, that's not official. I guess they could release another raid, but chances are they won't. This will probably be the end.
Where would you go after killing Archimonde?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, this is pretty much the end, so I'm under the impression that this will be the last thing that happens in this expansion, so we'll have to see. But overall, not official, so don't quote me on that. But I'm telling you, this is pretty much the last raid of the expansion, so yeah.
Cool. Speaking about things we don't know, well, at least I don't know, and Matt Hellman doesn't know, you know what, Frost? Hey, you want to talk to us about competitive Hearthstone?
I sure do.
Oh, I know you do.
Oh, don't I? I always want to. So yeah, there's some cool stuff going on in the Hearthstone scene. First of all, we have the currently what's going on is the Challengestone tournament. The second one, hosted by Crip and Tempo Storm. Challengestone 2 is going on. It's kind of like a tournament. If you don't know, they invite 8 players, and right before the tournament starts, they're like, hey, you have X amount of time to make 3 decks using these certain set of rules. And then you have to monitor. They're all like, they all record them making the deck, so like everyone makes them a certain amount of time. So last Challengestone, the rule was odds and evens. So your minions had to have odd attack damage, and your spells had to have an even mana cost. So it's kind of an interesting thing. It's more of a deck building competition rather than a net deck the best deck and then win the tournament competition. So this Challengestone, the rule is that so you have to make 3 decks in 35 minutes, and they all have to be the same class, and you're only allowed to use one. Let's just say you have Doomguard. That Doomguard is you're only allowed to use that Doomguard in one of your 3 decks now. That card is no longer allowed in any of the decks. So you can only have a single card spread between 3 decks. So it is really, really interesting seeing people try to make decks without having any duplicates of any cards over 90 cards. So every single person has 90 unique cards in their decks, which is crazy.
I feel like you'd have to make 2 really, really good decks and then 1 throwaway deck.
A lot of people have been doing that. They've like, I put this one together, it might work, but it's really cheesy, and the other 2 actually have good cards.
It seems like that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, so I've watched 4 games of the tournament so far, and so the first one was between Kibler and someone, and so the 2 decks that they chose were the 2 classes they chose were Hunter and Mage, which I don't know how the hell the Hunter guy managed to pull it together, like, and make 3 Hunter decks using unique cards, but it kind of just came down to, like, the Hunter hero power is just so strong that if you can burst them down, then you'll eventually just start hammering them with your hero power each turn and put them on a timer. So, like, the Hunter one kind of, like, won pretty hard against Mage, and then there was Warlock versus, what was the other class? Oh, Shaman. Kalento ran Shaman, which I thought was super interesting. Shaman would have been the last class I would have ran, because like all the cards are very, very unique, I guess. But I mean, like he ran like a Mech Shaman deck, he ran like a Death Rattle Shaman deck, and then he kind of ran a throwaway one. But holy crap, it is so interesting seeing these Challengestone ideas. Like I could easily see them be implemented as like Tavern Brawl type situations. Like they're just so unique. But anyways, the other huge thing in competitive Hearthstone is Team Archon, Mavs' team, announced a tournament they're hosting. It's kind of like over the course of a month or like 2 months, I guess. They're having a weekly, like 3 days a week, they're having these games that are going to be held. So the tournament is called a team tournament. It's the first one ever. Each team has 3 players. Like you have Team Liquid, Team TSM, all this crazy stuff. So each team has 3 players, and each player is given 2 classes. They choose, like, say, Team Value Town is Trump's team. So Trump, Kibler, and Dog are on the team, and each one of them has 2 classes. Like Trump might take Mage and Hunter, Dog might take Shaman and Warlock, and then Kibler might take Druid and Priest or something. And then to beat the team that they're facing, they have to win 1 game with each in every class.
Wow.
So it's really interesting because usually you have it's usually a best of 1 between 2 individual players, and it's like a best of 5, and first one to win the 3 games moves on, and they get to choose their own classes. But now each player is assigned their own 2 classes, and you have to win with all 6 of them. So everyone on your team has to be playing at their like best if you want to win.
Wow. How are they going to do that logistically? Like if you win with Hunter, then you can't play with Hunter again.
Yeah, it's
right,
locked.
that makes sense. But what if, like, okay, I guess it makes sense. You have to win twice. With each of your decks. Okay, yeah, I get that. Best of 3.
Yeah, and the rule for saying like you can't just spam like we're just gonna play Hunter every single round until we win. If you lose. So let's just say Kibler's running Hunter and Mage, right? If he loses Hunter and he has to play again, he has to run Mage, and if he loses with Mage, another team member has to play. So like. You can't just play like the same class over and over and over again until you win with it.
Wait, so if you lose the first match and then like you're playing Hunter, you lose with Hunter, and then you play Mage and you win with Mage, then what? Like do you have to...
Your Mage is locked, and then you can play Hunter again if you want, or another member can play.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So they're going to
really
be like switching out in the middle of the best ofs?
Yeah. Every match
that's
is like
awesome.
its own. Yeah, so it's kind of like I guess they're not best of 7s. What would winning 6 games be? Best of something crazy, some huge number.
Best of 11?
I guess, yeah, that's what it would be. But anyways, it's like a multi-month tournament, like over the course of weeks. All the games are being streamed on a Mazda stream, and the prize pool at the end, there's going to be a playoff match at the end of July, playoff tournament, and the prize pool for the winning team is $250,000, which matches Blizzard's World Finals, which I think is hilarious.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but I'm really, really excited for that. I'm glad that new tournament formats are being made, like Challengestone and the Archon team tournament, and I hope to see more of them.
Cool. Is there anything else Hearthstone related you want to talk about? Well, hey, you know what? Let's talk about this week's Tavern Brawl while we're here. We might as well, since it's on topic.
Yeah.
Monkeys.
So for those of you that didn't listen to the pre-brawl, the second one we did, first of all, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you listen to it? First of all, the Tavern Brawl for this week was bananas. And not like in a crazy sort of way. Well, it was. But every single time that one of your cards died, you got a banana. And it could be one of 4 bananas. Regular banana, big banana, rotten banana, and what was the deviant banana?
Yeah.
And then regular banana is they're all 1 mana. And then the regular banana gives a minion +1/+1. Big bananas +2/+2. Rotten bananas deal 1 damage, and deviant banana is switch the attack and health of a character.
Also known as I don't want that banana.
Right, pretty much. Yes, it does go by that on the street. But yeah, we talked a little bit about like deck strategies and stuff for that on the pre-brawl, so I don't want to rehash that sort of stuff. But Frost and I had this interesting conversation about which Tavern Brawl we preferred out of the 2 that have come out now. And so, Matt Hillman, I want to get your opinion because Aidan fell on the side of the fence of he likes constructing the deck with like the new mechanic. It's fun for him because half the fun for him was the deck building, and I was on the opposite side as a less experienced player that I really liked when they gave us constructed decks because it allowed me to engage on it on the same level as somebody else. I can really just focus on my gameplay tactics and stuff in the game. So, which one of the 2 Tavern Brawls did you prefer out of the 2? Ragnaros versus Nefarian, or this bananas one?
I kind of feel like Tavern Brawl is a fun sort of, I don't really give a crap, I'm just having fun playing Hearthstone sort of game mode. And I think that if you're going to do that sort of game mode, then you should have fun with it. So when I was doing the solo adventures and you could do the class challenges, I thought that was super interesting. Like when they did the mage one and all you had was unstable portal, that kind of shit was so much fun. And so I think the Nefarian Ragnaros was the best because you were able to do things that you can't normally do in Hearthstone, and it was just fun. Like that was all. That's all Tavern Brawl's for anyway. So I think that was more fun. I was watching a streamer play the bananas one, and he got 3 face hunters in a row. And it's like, when you're doing a fun mode, and you get 3 face hunters in a row, and you lose every game because it's face hunter, like, you're not even really using the mechanic of the game. Like, I understand where Aidan was coming from with, like, hey, with this mechanic, I can do a mill deck, because then the opponent's gonna have all these cards that are useless in their hand. Like, that's really cool, but people aren't gonna do that all the time, you know? At least with the Ragnaros versus Nefarian, like, you couldn't cheese. It was just play whatever cards you have, you know? Pop your hero power and cast some 0 mana spells. Like, that was kind of fun. If
I could chime in here, so I did mention on the pre-brawl that I did find the building deck is more fun. I think if they removed the aspect that you can get wins for quests and wins for your 3 wins and 10 gold thing, I think it would be a more fun game mode because you have a lot of people. Like, for example, this week, if you play Face Hunter, you can end the game in 4 turns. Just because if you get Unleash the Hounds, even if you trade your Hounds, you get a ton of bananas, which buffs up a crazy creature. But I mean, so like, I see why people are playing Face Hunter because you can get your 30 wins and 100 gold so fast by playing it. Like in a day, which I don't do, but I mean, I understand why. So I think if they remove that, it would be a lot more fun. But I haven't been winning a lot of games with it because I've been playing cheesy stuff. But when I do win a game, it's so much fun because like I've been playing this one deck. I've been playing a warrior deck, which runs mana addicts. So Mana Addict is the 2-mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a spell, it gains 2 attack for the turn. So I've been playing, I go Mana Addict, so it's like a 10 mana combo. You go Mana Addict, Charge, so it gives it an extra 2 attacks, so now it's a 7/3. And then you just add a bunch of bananas to it, and you do like 25 damage in 1 turn with your full combo. And it's just like, it's cheesy. I'm never going to win games with it, like, unless I get a crazy combo. But I love that, and it's so much fun just to pull off. So, I mean, I do like this game mode more. I wish they would take away the incentive to, like, grind out fast wins and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, don't you think it would be better if they removed the 10 gold for getting 3 wins or winning quests and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it would be a fun mode, like, because no one would. You just play like your normal casual play mode to get your quests like normal.
Yeah, and I
Holy
was
crap.
under the impression that it was a lot like playing against a friend. You know, you can't complete quests when you're playing against a friend because you could just sit there and have your friend surrender 3 times in a row and get your quest for the day. So I feel like for this kind of tavern brawl sort of mode, you shouldn't be able to complete quests because then you're just going to do your quests in Tavern Brawl, and
Right,
that's not
yeah.
really learning your class. That's not really playing the actual game, you know? It's like a fun mode that only exists for a week. Like, not really, I don't know. But that's just my opinion. I think the Nefarian Ragnaros was really fun because nobody was playing it to win a bunch of games in a row. Like, nobody really cared because there was really no incentive, you know? If you get a win 5 games as a hunter class, like, yeah, you're going to do Face Hunter in Tavern Brawl because it's easy. So, I don't know.
But you know what I mean? It's like I play stupid stuff in there because you say you lose 10 games in a row, but when you win that one, it is so satisfying playing something dumb.
Especially if it's a 25 attack Mana Addict.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But like, I was watching a video on r/Hearthstone a couple days ago of this one guy. He does like really dumb ideas taken from the Reddit to win games. For
Who is
example,
that, by the way?
I forget his name. He doesn't have like a ton of subs. He's just like some random guy. And he's like, hey, I make these videos of just trying to win games, and he like loses like 50 games, but then he wins one, and it's.
I think I've seen him before, so.
He's done one where it's like he plays a hunter deck and it only has spells in it. But the one I saw a couple days ago was he plays mage, and every single turn he has to ping himself in the face. So if he starts coin, he has to coin ping himself in the face, turn 2 ping himself in the face, turn 3 ping himself in the face, and then he gets to start playing. So it's like he's playing with 2 mana short every single turn, and he's losing 1 health every turn. And like as soon as he wins with it, it's just so satisfying. It's just really funny to watch. It's like I love shit like that because it just makes winning so much sweeter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I have something.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
So we were talking about competitive Hearthstone. So, I do listen to a lot of streamers and stuff like that. I sort of follow competitive. Aidan, I know, follows competitive a lot. So this is mostly for Chris. This is a little game I like to call Guess the Pro Player. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some clues, and then you have to guess who the pro player is. And the first clue is, we've already mentioned this guy today. So if you've been paying attention, you've already heard his name.
Okay.
He began as a WoW player. He is notably the first player to complete the Iron Man challenge, which is basically level to, at the time it was level cap 85, without ever being in a party, without using any heirlooms, without ever dying. It was like a bunch of stuff you had to do. And he did it. He streamed the whole thing and he did it.
All gear must be white or gray.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, and I listed it down here. But yeah, crazy. And he also famously was involved with Path of Exile, and he's actually acknowledged in the credits of the game as being a main proponent of really helping them along, and he really likes that game a lot too. He has released many YouTube videos and streams about the intricacies of Hearthstone, and he likes to do specific card videos where he talks about whether a card is good or not. He often eats on stream, little or no reaction with the chat, and all around boring, which has kind of become his style, and he's kind of famous for that. I didn't know this, but he's currently a part of Team Solo Mid, but you wouldn't be able to tell if you just watched his stream or his YouTube videos.
Okay.
He primarily focuses on Arena, though he did take second at the 2013 Innkeepers Invitational in Constructed. So he's also very good at Constructed. He has hosted and cast many tournaments over Hearthstone, and he's actually the main leader of the Challengestone tournaments, which we've discussed on this podcast already.
Okay.
So there you go, Chris.
Hold on, can we just say...
I believe...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, can we just say, like, if people want to respond, like Matt went through them, like, one by one, his, like, hints. We want to actually kind of know where you guys figured out who the player was. I'd love to hear some, like, audience interaction of, like, they say, yeah, on this one, I finally clued into who it was.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
Basically like starting out, you don't really know a lot about it, and then as you go down, you should be able to figure it out, so...
Okay, well, the ones that got me was the began as a WoW player and then famously involved with Poe and acknowledged in the credits because our good friend Alex Whitehair from Casual Cast was talking about this a while ago. And I believe it's Crip, right?
It is Criparian, yes.
Okay, good. All right, great.
Yeah, so you knew it right away off of the Poe thing?
Yeah, that's just something that came into my head before. Because, yeah, we were talking about Crip, and I was like, oh, doesn't he do Hearthstone stuff? It's funny because I've never actually watched any of his Hearthstone stuff. The only things that clued me into it were things that were not Hearthstone related. The Poe one being a really big giveaway.
Oh, wow. I should have started with the with the Hearthstone stuff then.
Yeah, the other things don't surprise me, and I know he's boring, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, that's fine. I mean, Trump is also slightly boring when nothing interesting is happening.
But the value.
Let me write your name on a whiteboard.
It's very, like, they're entertaining intellectually, but I feel like Hearthstone streaming is just kind of boring by nature because it's a slower paced game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're Aidan and you have text-to-speech donations on the entire time. That's the only stream I watch for Hearthstone, and it's so perfect.
I watched
That's
like a 30-minute video of Raynad, and he started up Tinder, and he was doing Tinder while playing Hearthstone. Oh my god, so funny.
Really funny. And then like he calls up Trump, and he like asks Trump like which girls hold the most value. It's just funny.
Yeah.
I love streams like that.
Oh man, I find it so funny that Trump's advice was just terrible on purpose. It's so good.
I like that, like, the top end streamers all like know each other and talk and stuff. I think that's super cool.
I think it's pretty common. I mean, you're kind of in an elite group, so you end up with a bunch of people who pretty much do the same thing that you do, and you see them all the time anyway, so you might as well be friends and talk to them. Yeah,
I think it's neat. It's just a cool thing to, like, watch. Anyway, speaking of cool things, you know who's gonna do the Don't Be a Scrub this week? Because it's here again this week, gonna be me. Guess you didn't see that one coming. And what I think I'm gonna do for the benefit of both of my co-hosts and for those out there who may be newer to Heroes of the Storm, I'm gonna go, and every once in a while when it's my turn or if they've got nothing else to talk about, I'm gonna pick one of the maps, they're called Battlegrounds in Heroes of the Storm, and talk through it. Talk about what's on that map, what's exciting, what the objectives are, and how to not completely suck when you are faced up against that map, right? So we're going to talk about the first one that's on the list of the official site, because why the hell not? Tomb of the Spider Queen. In short, this map is 3 lanes, and your minions also spawn with these 3 extra spiders. And when you kill those spiders, they drop a gem. And if you collect those gems off of the enemy spiders that you kill, you can drop them off at 2 locations that are in the middle, in like the middle area, which is kind of like the jungle area between the 3 lanes, the 2 dividers of the 3 lanes, right? And after you turn in, like, you know, it starts at 50, and then the second time's 55, and then 60 and 65, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully the game is over by then, holy crap. They summon these things called web weavers, which come from your base, and then they float all the way up to your current line of creeps in that lane, and then they start pushing with your creep wave in each lane at the same time, and they summon, like, some helpers and stuff, and they do ranged attacks, and they're, like, siege minions, and it's great, and it's the whole fun thing. They're like centaurs, but spider people. Great. Who likes horses anyway? You're gonna need the spiders.
Yeah, fuck horses.
Right, horses are terrible people. There is also on this map minion camps that you can get, like, mercenary camps. The one at the very, very, very bottom of the map is the Lone Siege Camp. and they throw rocks and stuff. You kind of want to get those guys if you want. And then kind of like deeper in everybody's territory, there's one bruiser camp that's kind of like in the middle of the map, and at the very top, there is the boss, which is like an Anubis sort of dude with like spider legs and then like Edward Scissorhands hands, and he like punches shit and it breaks, and you're like, ah, and then he has like big old sandstorms around him, and you're like, and then you win the game. So here's the deal. No matter who you're playing in this mode, as this is with any advice that I'm going to give you on any map, battleground, whatever, when you pick up a collectible, turn them in eventually. But do it sooner than you think, because as soon as you think you're going to turn around and drop things off, you're probably going to die. And then once you die in this mode, you drop your gems a little before. The enemy doesn't pick them up, but you lose them, which is just as bad in a lot of cases. You really, really want to focus on the objective in this map. You want to get your web weavers out. You want to put a lot of pressure on your co-players to make sure they're picking stuff up and turn them in, because these web weavers will split push everywhere for you, and then you guys can either continue to push with them in their lanes and guard them, because they get stronger the longer that they're around and stuff, basically, because there's summon things to help them. Or you can pile in one lane with one guy and have those spiders do some damage on their own, because they'll be just fine on their own if they're not getting harassed by enemy heroes. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. There's no like secondary levels like there is with the haunted mines. Nobody has to really control the guy. There's no separate mechanics for the objective in this one like there is with the Dragonshire Dragon Knight thing. It's really straightforward, and this is pretty much as close to just a plain old fight map in Heroes of the Storm. The other ones have a little bit more of a convoluted, complex sort of objective. This one is literally just pick these up, turn them in, good things happen. And for that reason, it's pretty chill. The whole 3-lane thing is also really reminiscent of League of Legends and other MOBAs. So if you're unfamiliar with the game and you want to do a custom game with some buddies, I recommend this one. Also, probably Blackheart Bay. Have you guys played this map at all? Tomb of the Spider Queen? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. I think I've played this one before. And
okay.
I don't really remember if I knew what was going on. I knew I was supposed to collect stuff, and I did, but I don't think we really... I don't know. I'm really new to the game, so a lot of people I play with and stuff when I'm random queuing is like newbies too, so we were just killing shit and doing stuff. So
well, the nice thing about this battleground is that you can do that and be just fine. Yeah. So... yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, I guess, this week. It's a little bit shorter, but there's really not much to talk about with this map because it's really simple.
Yeah.
There are faster games on this mode for sure. And what better way to follow up Don't Be a Scrub than to expose these two scrubs for the scrubs that they are after we describe something. Whoa. I'm sorry, but I'm just talking about... What do you think I'm talking about?
Dragon.
Marshmallow.
Card of the week. Boom, boom. Card of the week. Wow. Crazy.
Card of the week.
So, card of the week. Who wants to talk about this guy?
I think we could do some back and forth, right?
I think so. Dude. Yeah, man.
All right. So look, we got this new card entering Hearthstone Arena, never before seen on the fields of justice in the battle arena of Hearthstone. It is Nefarian.
Ba 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 ba.
Yeah. So Nefarian is a 9-mana 8/8, as most dragons are, and his battle cry is add 2 random spells to your hand from your opponent's class. He's also a dragon.
Yeah. So Nefarian is a bad card. I would not run him in any deck unless you're having fun. If you're having fun, he's a great card because he's RNG based, right? But the thing about Nefarian is he's 9 mana. So if you play a 9 mana card and it doesn't win you the game, you probably lose the game.
Chances are very good, yes.
It's pretty true, though. No, but I mean, like, I've seen a lot of fun things with Nefarian. Like, you're playing against a druid, you play Nefarian, and then you get Savage Roar, Call of the Wild, holy shit. The Treant combo. You know what I mean? The
Force of Nature.
Force of Nature, or Savage Roar combo, then you win the game. Like, shit like that's really, really funny, and it's, like, that's why I like the card, because it's kind of RNG random based. But you could also get, like, you could be playing against a rogue, and you get 2 Blade Furies and lose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just really RNG based. I like the card, but I'm not very good in competitive.
Sure.
Yeah. So his flavor text is, they call him Blackwing because he's a black dragon, and he's got wings. which is funny. Get it?
That's not. I mean, yes, that's hilarious.
It's funny.
What does he say?
Hilarious.
What does he say when he's summoned and attacks, Matt?
His quotes are different depending on who you like summon him against. I have to look it up.
Okay, I got it right here.
It's different than the WoW wiki.
All right, so the quote is, if it's a druid, he says, "Druid, the wild is mine to control." Hunter says, "The hunter becomes the hunted." He says, "Mage, you should be careful when you play with magic," which is silly because it's a mage, so they know what the... Okay. Paladin is Paladin. All right, so he starts... Whoever class you're playing against, he basically just says that class name.
He calls you out.
Yeah, he does. Paladin, does the light forsake you? Priest, the light serves me now. Rogue, stop hiding and face me. Shaman, the elements obey me now. Warlock, you play with magic beyond your understanding. Warrior, your strength becomes your weakness. He also says your magic is mine, depending, I don't know when he says that.
Draxus, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. And then for attack, he says, "Let the games begin." Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to try to infer how he's super important in the Warcraft lore, unless you know that and you want me to go for it?
I don't know that. He's part of Dragon Council things, I think.
I know he's Deathwing's like offspring, right? Like he's like his
I thought
Deathwing's his father, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but he's the guy from Pandaria, right?
No.
He's the prince guy from Nefarian.
No.
His
No.
dragon. Okay. Okay.
No, he's not. No, he's
I know
not.
Anixia is like a sibling of his.
Yes.
These are all from the adventure mode. Like when you play these cards against Nefarian, they all have like special interactions. Like he played Deathwing against Nefarian, he says, "Daddy?" ?
Does he really?
Yeah, like stuff like that's kind of funny.
To clear the air, Matt Hillman in Pandaria, Raytheon.
Raytheon, yeah. Who is that?
He is also a sibling of Blackwing and Deathwing.
Okay. So he's
and
Deathwing's
Syntharia,
son as well.
Anixia, Sibelian, Natharaku,
Son of a bitch, there's so many
Sethria,
dragons.
Desperonia.
It's like the Wing family, the Drake family.
Yeah.
They're dragons.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
They're dragons. All right. So, but is it pretty much all you guys know?
It's a dragon. That's all I really know, and it's
All right,
related to Deathwing and Anixia.
So he created the Cataclysm. He was the one dragon who came out and he's like, "Look, Deathwing, I get it. You're like my dad and stuff, and you can be the final boss. That's cool. But behind the scenes, Nefarian was the one doing all that shit. And he destroyed the world of Warcraft and Azeroth and created the Cataclysm. And then we killed him at some point because we're like, fuck you. And we didn't want Nefarian around. And that was prior to Pandaria. And then reasons."
All right.
Does he even? He's not dead in the lore, is he? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Hang on. Here's the thing. He's dead in the lore before Cataclysm.
Oh,
Right, yeah, totally. That's what I said.
he's not the one that was behind the scenes because that was
No.
He's dead.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. All right,
he was
there you
there
go.
the whole time.
All right. So here's the thing. You see
It's
how
like Elvis. He's not really dead.
his name is Nefarian, but his
Yeah.
dad's name is Neltharion. See how close they are? That's fucking frustrating, Blizzard. What the hell?
Why don't you just call him Blackwing and Deathwing?
Well, those are also pretty similar. I would much rather call Deathwing and call this dude Nefarian instead of Blackwing and get everybody just confused. Anyway, every single dragon has a human guise or a different sort of guise that they use. Sometimes they use high elves, whatever. If you're Alexstrasza, you're a friggin' sweet looking high elf.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like Calic Ghost or you're Nefarian, sometimes you want to be a human. And his human guise's name is Lord Victor Nefarious, because wow, that's not, weird or completely suspicious. Your last name's Nefarious. Weird. Anyway, so he was the dude that was in charge of what instance do you think, Matt Hillman? What has his name in it?
I'm gonna go with Blackwing Descent.
Blackwing Lair, just in general. Yeah.
Okay.
All that stuff. So
I was right though.
Can you
say that I was right?
Yes, you were right. The black dragonflight is like notoriously known for being a little bit messed up because Deathwing was a lot of messed up because he went crazy and stuff. If you read any of the books and you know about the Dragon Soul, you know that pretty much it's a huge, huge problem, and he went crazy because of it. Also, the old gods are like whispering to him and making him insane. No, but he's dead now, so whatever. So there was like this big battle at Grim Batol, and Deathwing was defeated by his fellow aspects. That's like the big thing. He tries using the Dragon Soul against him, and they eventually defeat him and stuff like that. And so then he manages to escape, and then he goes into Deepholm, which is super, super, super deep in the earth. He's like the Earth Warder. That was his original thing, so he can hide in the earth, and that's cool. And then that's what you see in the cinematics of him getting like the plates put on him and stuff, and he's been there for a while just regaining his strength. But while Daddy was away and not dying and getting plates put on his body by goblins and shit, the other Black Dragonflight were sent to the above world, like his offspring, such as Syntharia, Nixia, and Blackwing, to take care of some business and deal with like the upper overworld things. So Blackwing Lair was a thing for him. So Deathwing's eldest son, this is him, Nefarian, has claimed the Burning Fortress of Black Rock Spire and Blackwing Lair as his dealio. So he's the dude that led all the experiments on the chromatic dragonflight and like, you know, making all those dragons spawn and stuff. He has this thing where he's going back and forth with Ragnaros in that mountain. And then he also has like this weird alliance with Rend Blackhand, which is not the same Rend Blackhand that you see in Draenor. This is the one that came through the Dark Portal the first time, and then has since made his residence at the Black Rock Spire, right? So basically, what's up? No, go ahead.
I was going to say, that kind of makes sense in terms of Hearthstone, Ren Blackhand, because so he's kind of like allied with a dragon, because in Hearthstone, when you have a dragon in your hand and you play him, you can kill a legendary minion. That's kind of cool that they actually tie stuff like that together.
Yeah, that's the deal. So he uses him and his Dark Horde to further his own goals. That's pretty much the deal. And the Black Dragonflight is like in direct consequence to the Red Dragonflight. Like they have issues. Veil Astraz being like the main one that has issue with him. Pretty much everything he's done is veiled in mystery. Like, we know why he wants to do things, or sorry, what he wants to do, but we're not sure how he's doing most of it. You kill Nefarian in patch 1.6 after Blackwing Lair was introduced, so like right away. And then he's considered dead throughout most of the other expansions, but in Cataclysm, it seems like he's been brought back to Undeath. Located in Blackwing's Descent. Yeah, so he's
work
still
behind the scenes to make the Cataclysm what it was.
Right, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not really sure what is going on and why he's back and in what level of undeath he's in Blackwing Descent. We're just kind of confused, and we understand that it's not his dad, because his dad's still in Deepholm at this point in time, or has been in Deepholm leading up to this. The popular theory is that there were experiments that were headed up by Atramedes and Chimeron before his death and stuff like that, and you know, whatever. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and then he's featured in the book Night of the Dragon. That's a thing. Yeah, and then you fight him. He's a Black Dragon. Really simple. Whatever. So go see him in the game. I think you can still see him and play with him and fight him and stuff, and it's a whole thing, and he's a Black Dragon, and dragons are cool. That's pretty much it.
Dragons are cool.
Yeah, dragons are freaking awesome. But yeah, don't play him in Hearthstone, but go visit him in World of Warcraft, because that's a thing you can do. And yeah.
Can we have like a tour, like a zoo tour, and then go see everyone in World of Warcraft?
Yeah, I can do that. We can do that.
That'd be
sometime.
sick.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, right. Dude. We'll just run. We'll make the rounds.
And if you look to your left, you'll see Nefarian, eldest son of Deathwing, who struck Cataclysm across all of fucking Azeroth, and he'll be like, "Fight me!" Blah blah blah, and then we'll one shot him because he's level 70 or whatever he is right now. Yeah. So that's card of the week and lore of card of the week. So I think this is where we're coming into the end of the show. Do we have anything fun left to do? I think we might. We might have one fun thing left in us this show.
Fun is like not always fun. So I think we'll just all right, fine. Let's do this weekend trade chat. What do you guys say? Okay,
sounds good. We didn't do it last week because we missed you.
That's okay. We don't have to do all the sections every week. But here we go. Let's do some trade chat talk. So I got one from Rob, which I forgot because I didn't write down. So I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. But I do have some that I did write down. Somebody was asking what the lore was behind the fact that we're in Tanan Jungle and why are we running around and killing stuff. And somebody's like, we're killing stuff because it's here, we're here, and it's World of Warcraft, not World of Coexist Craft. Which I thought was pretty funny. I was like, war is in the name, killing because of war. It's pretty simple. But also, this is just an FYI for everybody. I want to make sure everybody knows that committing illegal activities through Blizzard is against the terms of service, and selling your body is an illegal activity. Just not in Vegas.
God damn it.
So there you go. That's been This Week in Trade Chat.
Okay, thanks. All right, so this is where we would normally go into emails and voicemails, but it was a slow week for that, so we didn't get very many. So why don't you guys send us an email to thehearthshow@gmail.com, or better yet, call in and leave us a voicemail at 681-443-2784, and we'll play it on the show and answer your question on the show and stuff like that.
And that is 681-4-HEARTH.
It is, you're right.
Yeah. Because I couldn't remember what it was, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's 4-HEARTH. 681-4-HEARTH.
It is, exactly. You're right. Cool. Follow us on Twitter at Hearth Podcast, like us on Facebook, just search for The Hearth. And if you want to support the show, and you want to see some cool vidges and extra things that we're doing, while supporting us and, helping us out and stuff like that, you can head on over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/The Hearth. And that would be mega freaking cool. And I mentioned this last week, but it bears repeating again. The show is now officially up on iTunes and Stitcher, so there's no limitations on which venue you'd like to take advantage of to listen to our sweet, sweet voices talking about Warcraft and shit like that. And then also, while you're there, you might as well just leave us a review. Anything really, really, really helps us out. And as a new show, we'll take all the help we can get. But I think that's going to do it for us this week. Until pre-brawl or otherwise, we'll see ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.